Guns N' Roses, Paradise City.
Yes.
Welcome to the jungle. Yes.
Jungle.
With that, Axl Rose had that really kind of high-pitched screaming voice. I can't do that. Welcome to the jungle. I can't go that. I don't have those notes. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I did a lot of analysis yesterday. Actually, we had my mother-in-law, not married, but my mother-in-law and her partner, and my partner's brother and his new partner. That's so complicated, isn't it?
Okay.
And the brother's daughter from, that's all fucked up, isn't it? From his previous marriage. Oh God, right. There's like 5 people together in a car, none of whom should be related to each other. Bizarre. They're called family. I don't know. It's all very weird. So it's like taking random people off the street and calling them family. It's just really strange. So they came for their yearly visit so that everybody could catch up. It's just my sticky little energy vampire. Okay. It completely disconnected from the world. Okay. Not able to deal with your own personal issues. Okay. I was just observing and absorbing the information from people yesterday, looking at how people sometimes successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully manage their own emotional states. It was very interesting to make those observations because in the past I sort of accepted people as who they are. This is just who they are. This is who they are. Oh, okay. And I tended to think that me being me, it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I just don't, fit in. Maybe I'm a bad communicator. Maybe this problem comes from me. I can now successfully say it's not fucking me. It's not me at all. Right? After a certain level of experience, you can begin to make more definite decisions and observations and conclusions about certain things. I'm just like, no, it's like I'm reaching out to connect with these people, and what's coming back is like a wet blanket. It's like it's not cool. It's not cool. This is not cool. It's not me, right? So, one of the key things in people, and everyone knows this, but we don't think about it very much. The light that exists in people's eyes tells you so much about a person, right? It's like the eyes almost dance in a person who's full of light and thoughts and ideas and creativity and willingness to interact and experiment and try things. It's a beautiful thing to observe. And then there are people who just, you just sort of look at them and their eyes might as well just be 2 black spaces in the front of their head where they don't really have any connection with the universe. And the eyes themselves, it's human brain tissue that forms the eyes. So when you look into a person's eyes, you're looking basically into their brain, and you can see, how the beyond the neurolinguistic stuff, there's the eye movement position where if we're looking at a person's eyes, you can see certain elements of their, whether they're thinking about the past, the present, the future, whether they're thinking at all, basically. Yeah, and because my work is one-to-one with people, like for example with you, I can see that your eyes are alive. You're alert. You're interested, and because you're interested, you're entertaining because you're interested in what's going on. It's a nice thing to see, but I compare that to the people I was communicating with yesterday, who was like a slow song that will never end. Right? It's just like, oh, and you close the door of the flat and you're like, oh, thank
Why
fuck
did
they
you
left.
invite them?
Oh, they invited themselves. I don't. What?
Just repeat for
They
me.
they
No.
invited themselves. They
Try
invited.
this. Try this. No.
No, no, no,
No.
it's too painful. Too
Yeah.
painful. I can't get it out. Oh, come on, get it out. No, no, no. I talked with my partner about it. I said, I said, I think I'm not comfortable with this, but I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to
Oh,
make an
she
effort.
wanted.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
she did.
Okay, I got it.
We talked about it a lot, and she's like, I just
It's still her mother and her brother. Yeah, I know.
yeah, yeah, and it's like we agree on the state of things, but you can't change history, and there's obviously a very big historical connection and so many experiences that were shared in
Yeah,
the
you
past.
will do the same with your part of the family. You will.
I did in the past, but I've learned for things that concern me and my family. I've learned to do the no thing now. I've learned to do it with my family. So I can say to my family, no, thank you. Thank you very much for the offer. I really appreciate it. Don't take this the wrong way, which means whenever you make a negative statement like don't take this the wrong way, it's inevitable that it's going to be taken the wrong way. It just is. So it's just that I don't really want to continue communication in this way, on this line, on this road. With all due respect, it saves us a lot of trouble if we don't go there to that place. It's not beneficial for anyone. So I can do that with my own family, and it's not something it's not something I have to deal with like at any other time of the year. So it's just like it's the once a year thing, making the little connections that make a difference for a few hours, and in order to preserve and appreciate the things that I have in this present moment, I am prepared to live with this. And you can find, if you want, if anybody wants, you can find ways to make things that would not be interesting. It's back to this. I don't just watch the film to watch the film.
Yeah, I know.
Don't just have visitors to have visitors. So what a fantastic opportunity to explore ideas, to analyze human interaction, to see how people respond to certain things, to make observations, to take something. Here's something that's negative. Let's see how we can use that in a positive way to get something from this. It's not a problem, it's an opportunity. Right. Okay. Now that we've turned it around, how do we get something positive? How do we get something positive from it? And so that's the way that I approach the situation. Is that let's look at people's interactions. Let's look at how they connect. Let's look at what they say. Let's explore this. Let's use it as a little laboratory experiment in terms of human relationships for a couple of hours, and then just breathe, because you keep breathing. As long as you keep breathing, everything's going to be okay. Control your breathing, and it's funny because there are certain people who are never going to get it. They're never going to get it. I mean, we live in hope, right? We live, it's like, okay, one day, right? But there are certain people, they're just never going to get it, right? So, and I mentioned the gifts thing earlier, right? You know, it's like the giving my kids stupid stuff because they feel obliged to do it. I mean, guys, don't feel obliged to give my kids stupid stuff. And let's talk about it, right? Because please don't. It's you don't just come. Just be you. I don't need anything from you. The kids don't need anything from you. They like you as you are, right? They don't need gifts. You don't need to waste your hard-earned money on buying stuff that no one's really going to use, or it's going to break within 24 hours, or, you know, it's just, it's okay to sit and talk, right? It's okay and yeah, gifts are always masks for other things. It's always, that's a bad way to say it. Almost always. Gifts are, and you get the occasional gift which is like, oh, I saw this and I thought of you when I saw this, so I bought it, and here you are. That, you know, that's different. But, you know, gifts are almost always masks. What we can't say through words, we say in other ways, you know, through the language of our actions. So, the quality of gift is very much a relationship to the quality of how the person thinks about you. If someone gives your kid shit, I mean, they're thinking shit about you. I'm sorry. It's either that or they're stupid. It might be that they just don't know, but that's not an excuse anymore in the modern world. We've got so much information. There's no reason to not know anything. Right now in the modern world, we live in the age of ignorance by choice, where people actually choose to be stupid because it's easier for them than dealing with their own reality. And you know, they're living, but they're dead because they're not prepared to deal with the own problems that exist inside their own head. If you get to 35 and you can't communicate basically with people, you have some serious issues, right? You know, if you're an adult, right, 35 years old, and you can't walk into a room and find someone to talk to, or go up to someone and begin a conversation, even if it's something silly that you say, right? If you're an adult and you can't do that, there's something wrong.
Or you are introvert.
Yeah, because there's things that you can't tell people because of there's things you haven't dealt with yet. Because that, you know, that's what they're just introverted by nature. Well, no, they learned to shut up as a kid and not express how they felt about
That's
things
true.
because they were punished by it.